Hello everybody and welcome again. This is again Prachi Soni, Assistant Professor, and I'm going to help you to learn the hematopoiesis and hematological system, which was the basic classes that was being taken in the last video. We are going to learn how hematopoiesis occurs. Hematopoiesis means the formation of RBCs. So what is the functions of RBCs? We already know that in previous channel that we learned that how the blood from the blood vessels that comes into the heart and then purifies through the lungs and goes again to the system. Here we are going to see that blood vessels that is carrying the RBCs and platelets and white blood cells nearby where it is formed. So we know that in the bone there is a red bone marrow that is in the between of the bone marrow. So these red bone marrow will be helping to form or helping in the formation of RBCs, that is hematopoiesis. But when we go through the cross section of it, this is having the cross section in this way, which is again having the red bone marrow which can be seen in between. Once this red bone marrow start producing the RBCs, that is hematopoietic, there are the stem cells which is again helping for the myeloid and lymphoid productions. These myeloid cells are different. So let's understand what is it. Number one, RBCs, WBCs and platelets. If we are saying that there is the formation of RBCs, they are the mature cells. But how the mature cells are being formed? So everyone knows that once the womb forms, the baby embryo comes to form, the fetus is formed to the baby. Same like that, the red blood cells, there is no nucleus. This is the biconcave which we had seen in the previous video. Biconcave edges are thicker. So this is having the hemoglobin. And here in between there are less hemoglobin. These are the erythrocytes. Again there are megakaryotes, small cell fragments that is called as platelets. Megakaryotes means bigger platelet cells. So these is having the small platelets. So this will again have the simple and small platelet cells. Now next we see that the basic cells, this is again the monocyte or WBCs, and the nucleus is there in the monocytes. So we can see in the shape that there is a nucleus in between. But when we see that this nucleus is bean shaped, so once we see why it is bean shaped, the bacteria comes and the bean eats up. So monocyte is grasping the bacteria. These monocytes are helping as a defense mechanism in the body to fight against the infection or the invasion of the bacteria. Next comes to the neutrophils. It is having the various segments, nucleus. So we say that there is no nucleus, but it is multi-segmented, and it is being seen when pimple formation is there, pus formation takes place. That is all called as neutrophils that is being seen. Next we are seeing that basophils. Basophils again having the bean shaped, that is even it is called as blueberry shape. It has the cytoplasm inside. And lastly, eosinophils, which is well known for having the red granules cytoplasm is there. So these are the cytoplasm, and which is having only in between the basophils and the eosinophils. Again, if we go through the other cells, we can see that there are also the platelets which is being present. So the three basic structures that the myeloid forms is the red blood cells, WBC, platelets, and megakaryotes, that is the platelets is the biggest one, which has been having again the small segments, and again the small cells that is called as the monocyte, then neutrophils, basophils and eosinophils. But before these RBCs get matured, these RBCs are in immature form, that are the small RBCs that are called as blood cells, and the mature one will be called as cysts. That is why in lymphoid growth we see T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. In the lymphatic systems also, we had seen that they are acting as the defense mechanisms. So this is what this whole structure and whole process. Blood vessels that are having the RBCs are formed from the bones, which is containing the red bone marrow. We take the cross-sectional structure, red bone marrow, which is producing the RBCs, that is the hematopoiesis, that has been again clustered by stem cells, which is being inside the bone marrow. Stem cells form the myeloid and the lymphoid cells. Myeloid again classifies into red blood cells, WBCs and platelets. Lymphoid groups is being classified into T cells and B lymphocytes. Again, they are being classified into the WBCs, which is having the nucleus which is bean shaped, which is helping to protect from the bacteria because it eats up the bacteria. And others are the basic structures. We have already seen monocyte, neutrophils. During the pimple formation, we can see the pus formation, that is neutrophils. Basophils, again having the blueberry structure, having the blue cytoplasm. And lastly, the eosinophils, that is having the red granule cytoplasm. And these are the RBC structure before which are immature, just newly baby forms are called blast, and matures are called cytes. This is all the examples of T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. Hope this video will definitely help you out. This is the whole structure and whole hematopoietic system. Please thank you and refer the YouTube and make notes.